Well, hello there, Facebook
Hello.
people. Welcome to another edition of Paranormal Swamp Chat Talk Discussion something. Uh, Tonight I'm joined with our host, Miss Rosie Page, the always beautiful Miss Crystal Kohler, and
Yeah, she looks smoky tonight.
and tonight we have our guest, our William and demonologist William and Miss Clarissa. She's a medium. She's a paranormal podcaster, and she's a paranormal investigator. So
Yes.
I read some of the stuff you sent me. I mean, I just don't delete it right away. Joking. You're very, very interesting, Clarissa. I told Rosie that y'all two basically almost have the same type of y'all basically the same person, the way I see it.
Sorry.
We look just alike too. No.
Oh.
Yeah, like twin sisters, you know.
Yeah, he's like, y'all
There's
look like
Ricky.
quick.
What's up, Ricky?
Yeah,
Hi,
see
Bridget.
Bridget. And Facebook.
And if you want your name in the comments, you have to allow Facebook to you have to let StreamYard know. Just click and your name will be in there. So that's the best way
Or
to do it.
type dash it and then your name after every comment.
Yeah.
It's a pain in the
sucks.
butt.
Yeah, just trying to show you who you are. Don't be claiming to be Scotty or somebody like that. We already know where Scotty is at.
Scotty on a secret profile.
So, Miss Clarissa, tell us a little bit about yourself for people who don't know you. You have your own podcast show. What is it? Unveil Paranormal?
Yep. So, I started a podcast this year through Pun Network and now through Things Network. And it is Unveil Paranormal. Last week's host was the wonderful Howard. Appreciate it. Or, yes, not host.
I'll host that thing.
So, every week we have different guests on the show. 1 week we did a live investigation. Next week I'm going to be doing live readings. Or I guess it's going to be this Friday. I'm going to be doing live readings.
That's fun.
So that'll be interesting because I've not done it that way ever. I've done readings for people, like photo readings for people since 2015. But I've never done live on video readings, so it will be an experience for sure.
That's fun.
Yep.
Okay, and how about Mr. William? I see that you brought William in. William's a demonologist. He's a demonologist. I personally don't like talking about that kind of stuff when I do a podcast show and stuff like that. But I don't know if you feel the same way, William, but I mean, share to everybody who you are and what's your relationship with Miss Clarissa, as in professional.
My name is Will. I've been in the paranormal field unprofessionally since I was 14. Of course, I use professionally loosely. Because there's I don't believe there's any you could act professional, but there are no professionals because this field is constantly changing and we're learning new things. But I didn't really start knowing what I was doing until I was about 23. Then I met Clarissa and we just kind of investigate together. And I try to basically, whenever she goes into a building, I just kind of record everything while she does her walkthroughs and stuff, and hopefully try to catch things on the recorder that she's picking up on. Or a lot of times we go in with other groups and they don't want us to know anything. I don't like to know anything. That way I'm not trying to influence her, but
yeah, he's my secretary.
What?
Yeah.
Totally got that when I get on here.
We go on investigations and then he writes all the notes for me.
Do you wash your drawers?
No, I make him wash his own drawers.
Yeah, I do my own laundry. I
We
get her
said
coffee.
we wanted their professional relationship. We didn't want their private relationship.
But he's a secretary. Hell, if I had a secretary, I'd make her wash my drawers.
Oh,
We done went through this already. I mean, I had this happen already. I've had this happen. Jackie doing Hey Boo, you was there. I was looking for a clean pair of drawers. That's all I wanted. That's all I needed. That's all a man requires in life. I was going commando for 2 days, and I'm tired of it. So I said, I want some drawers. And she didn't answer me, so I threw them pair at her. I said, oh, these clean.
Not a Free Willy fan?
No, I'm not. I'm not either. It's a lot of friction goes on, especially with a fat man.
Huh?
I've been going commando about 21 years now.
I'm gonna tell you now, it's hell for a fat man to go commando. There's a lot of friction going on. There's a lot of fire happening.
Oh, yeah. I bet there is.
Oh my god.
I bet there's a lot of memes about that. No.
they don't have them, they should.
Huh? If they don't have them, they
I could
should.
burn down the forest, man. I tell you that.
I actually have a female friend that does that, which
Gold
is a
bond,
lot more
Howard.
rare.
Gold
She doesn't
bond.
wear any of those.
I was gonna put powder, baby, but I heard that you can get the cancer from that.
Baby powder?
Yeah.
Oh, ask all the people that died. Ask their spirits. Johnson's and Johnson's baby powder.
I got enough going. We just did an investigation this past Saturday. A guy calls me up and says, well, he texted me today and said that the activity started right back up in his house the next day. I'm like, man, I can't get any more thorough than what I did. He wants an exorcism now. So I'm like, I'm calling Suits.
Yeah?
You know Suits?
Yeah.
Seth Healy? Yeah, I'm calling him in. He charges. I said, go for it, buddy. He wants the demon out of there. Tell your mama to leave the house. That's what I said. His mama was a bee. I'm gonna tell you that now. But we had some great etouffee, crawfish etouffee. I cannot say we did not. We had some really good etouffee. They fed us, so that was nice.
That's worth the whole. What's not investigation, but worth the whole experience then.
I know. I mean,
yes.
I mean, I do cemeteries and I do, businesses and stuff like that, whatever, or historical sites, but they don't give you a bowl of etouffee. You got to go to these residentials. You get to eat good. How it got fat. I'll tell you that, fatter. So, Miss Clarissa, let's jump back. See, I'm all over the place with this show. I mean,
That's okay.
Petri dish is even worse. How do you like to be on the network?
How do I? I like it. It's new for me. I did YouTube a little bit last year for a short period of time, so I know how to run on there. But this is the first time I've done any type of live broadcasting, other than I used to share my investigations and stuff, but that was very just random, So far, I really like it. I really like the network, the team behind all of it. Everybody's been really great. So I really can't complain much. It's been a good experience so far.
Good.
Oh, send the link. Send the link to Rose, if you don't mind, to Clarissa. She wants a link for this.
Okay.
That's what I'm doing now. I'm sharing. I'm just thinking about
I tried
it
to
because
share it to her page, but it didn't pull it up.
I had also talked to
I just share it to the
John.
people's page so y'all's people can be on here and they can ask you questions and they can root for you and stuff like that.
I shared out to pedophiles.com.
No. I've had enough stalkers, okay? We don't need any more stalkers. No, those kind.
Oh boy.
I had the privilege just to talk to John Doherty this past week.
Yeah.
He's starting a bunch of stuff. I don't know if you know John. Clarissa, do you know John Doherty?
I know the name.
He's an awesome
Who
guy.
doesn't know that name?
See, now, me and Tim share the
Everybody
same
knows that
brain,
name.
but me and John share. We're actually twins. I came out, then he came out 20 years later.
Oh, okay.
He stayed. And that's hey, whatever he wants to do. I mean, I'm not one to say not, but he needed to come out. He did finally. But we're identical twins.
Yeah.
The age difference.
It's just the age. It's the only difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
They look identical, apparently.
We do. So let's see. I'm just sharing this last one out.
Clarissa, when did you start realizing that you had mediumship abilities, and how did you start going about your development process?
Well, I would say, I don't know, I'm probably a late bloomer, I guess. So I really didn't get into mediumship or even providing like any. I did my very first reading back in 2015 for anybody. Now I've had paranormal experiences throughout my life, like most people have, but I was never really that. Even though like we lived in a haunted house from the time I was 8 and up, I really, I paid very little attention to it. It was like, oh, it's just a haunted house, whatever. But I really didn't dive into the medium stuff until 2015. And what I did was I started doing research online, and I decided to go ahead and wing my first reading. So I'm like, I feel like I can do this. Let's just try this, And so I did. I did my first reading, and it was valid. And I was like, this is weird. I should know things that I know. And I've always been a very intuitive person, but I've never really thought it of being from like, I just thought I was smart, I never really thought of it as being like in tune with something more than what's in front of me, until I started getting messages that they came out of left field. Like it didn't really make sense. Somebody like I would think about like a blue car, and I'm like, well, there's nothing in front of me that says blue car. Why am I thinking of this? It doesn't make sense. And I feed it out to the person, and they're like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Blah 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 blah. So it really just kind of happened, to be honest. And I didn't know anybody in the paranormal field back then. I had no idea there was a massive community online. I was still like, back then I was still friends with like all my high school friends and people that like, I just have them on Facebook to have them on Facebook. And started getting to the paranormal community, started finding people, started meeting people. And then I started, investigating, doing actual paranormal investigations and all that. And that just gave me even more people to come across that I met and got to know. So it just kind of exploded from there. That one reading just like for me. And so, yeah, it worked out great. So I'm here now.
Okay. Do you have like a spirit guide? And do you see like people, or is it just, just a feeling?
Mine's a lot of energy. So I feel, because I'm an empathic person too. So a lot that is based off energy, and it's internal. So what I see is not physically in front of me, it's internally inside of me. And so things I hear, things I see, things I feel, those are all internal. I don't actually see it, hear it, feel it externally. So I don't know if that makes sense, but
it is to
that's
me.
Kind of
You're empathically taking on the experience of the spirit or the energy or the entity or whatever it is. You're actually like kind of adopting the empathically what they experience or did experience, kind of.
Yes. So and on the empath side, when I do hit, a core experience that somebody's had, I do feel those emotions quite a bit. So it's not uncommon for me to start crying with a client or becoming very emotional with a client because I take on those emotions too at the same time. Another thing I've found that I do is I take on the deceased person's personas sometimes. It's really weird because sometimes.
What you mean by taking on the persona?
I could elaborate on that.
So
She has multiple personalities, and she's just trying to cover it up.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
So have you seen a psychiatrist?
I have, and I'm not crazy. I promise.
I got
Maybe you
papers.
think
I
they
am
were,
crazy.
though?
I promise. No, I do. I really do take on their personality, and I will talk like they talk. I will say things they will say. Like, I don't know if you want to give an example of that one case we went to without giving too much details.
Yeah, we helped out a friend of ours on a case, and we were there a good, 3, maybe 4 hours?
Yeah.
But about halfway into that time, like 2 hours after us being there, all of a sudden Clarissa goes full ghetto. Like she starts talking ghetto slang and everything for like 10 minutes. 10 minutes after that, she was like 1960s stoner type hippie. It's like, so she goes from full ghetto to like, man, I tell you, this is how I'm feeling, man.
It's very true. I mean, I promise you, I'm not an actress whatsoever. I guarantee you that.
Okay, there's a Facebook user in here, and you need to allow permission.
There's several of them.
Yeah. You need to allow Facebook. We don't know who you are and what message you or question you have. So if you do, please go out and come back in and just allow permission. Or when you write a message, just write your name behind the question that you have, please.
Yeah, I don't.
Because it seems like somebody knows you guys.
It's Nicole Pratley.
One of them's Nicole Pratley, I guess.
It's Jeff. Hey, Jeff.
Nicole.
Somebody asked Clarissa, how does being
One of
a
them is-
medium affect your daily life?
I don't have that question. I'm the one who's doing this. Where the hell you got that at?
Being a medium does not it probably does not affect me as much as being an empath does day to day. Being a medium, I can shut it off much easier than I can my empathic side. Although I do walk into certain areas, buildings, locations, and I do feel a sense of overwhelming, even if, there's nobody else around, but from the energy, from the spirits that are in the area. But really, I have taught myself, most of everything I do is self-taught. I've never picked up a book. I never practiced under anybody. I'm a hands-on learner, and so I've just jumped in on my own. And so being a medium, it doesn't affect me as much. Now my empathic abilities affects me quite a bit. I will have mood swings just from the people I'm around, and it's because I take on that energy, and instantly I'll start feeling their pain, or I'll get major anxiety, or whatever I can feel from them, and it's not. Crowds are probably the worst. And it has nothing to do with anxiety. Anxiety has everything to do with all the energies going on in the room, and highly haunted areas are usually a problem. But I don't go to those day to day. I just go to those whenever I go to those. So every day as a medium, I've been able to close off a lot of it. So.
Hi, Amanda Kinley.
I wish I could close that off.
There's a lot of people
on
on here. Hey, Howard.
Yeah.
Jesse's on here from These Ghosts. I told him you want him to come on the show.
Yeah, Jesse, man, I've been we playing phones. I see there's Anne in here. I don't see all these people in here.
Joseph.
See, Anne, she's gifted. I mean, she's a very gifted woman.
Here. Yeah.
Yeah. I see
It's
him.
not showing there. Like 5 people's names ain't showing. That I see.
I
Anyway.
swear. That she knew I was going to break in her room in Kansas. She was ready. She knew it. She knew it. She was ready. Come on in and have some coffee. Come on in and have some coffee.
Yeah.
I was breaking into her room.
I'll be right back. I left my coffee somewhere.
Now the cat's all wired.
Yeah, Anae's on here. We have Jesse from These Ghost Enoch.
Yeah, Jesse.
On here.
I want to get
Clarissa.
Jesse on here. That's for sure.
I'm gonna
Jesse,
message
you
him
need to get
again
in
and bug
touch
him
with me.
about it.
Amanda Kinley is from Shadow Seekers. They're over in Wabash, Indiana.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Welcome, Amanda. I think I've seen you on here
We
before.
like Amanda. You know Chrissy as well. Chrissy's on her team.
There's Irene Takora. She's in Facebook jail, so now she's watching it through YouTube. I love Irene.
Hey, Irene.
She's
For
gonna
some
take me
reason,
in. You know
I don't
that.
know why, because I post anything I think's funny, and that a lot of people don't think it's funny. And I've posted, dead deer and everything else on my page before. I have never once been in Facebook jail.
I haven't either.
I haven't.
I have several times.
I don't
Last
know. I was
week.
grounded for like a couple days from sharing too much. Like I couldn't share anymore. It wasn't like I
Really?
couldn't use it, but I
Yeah, I've
couldn't
been
share
that way.
anymore. It happens a lot.
I've probably been close to that a few times.
The
Irene.
goat wants to know how is everyone doing tonight,
Awesome, Jeff.
and we're doing great, Jeff. Let's
I've
see.
done a lot of walking here lately, so
I see George
getting up at
Shoplin's in
5
here.
a.m.
George Shoplin's in here. Ricky Heller,
wearing that
I
color.
don't see George.
he's in here. He's showing.
I saw Jesse and Joseph and several. Hey, Chrissy.
Chrissy's in here.
That's my friend.
She's That's your friend?
Amanda's on the team
my
with
friend.
Chrissy.
Yeah, that's my friend.
Yeah.
Chrissy Baggett's your friend.
Yeah, she is my friend.
Oh, I love Chrissy too. She's
I do
got some
too.
unique.
We have photos
Instruments.
together. Okay.
You gotta see.
We're friends.
You gotta see her and Scott Wilson together.
Oh my God.
You need to see her and freaking Ricky Heller
Oh
together.
yeah, them two are fun together too.
Yeah.
I have met them, and
That's like a mother-son combo right there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
investigated
Oh,
with
Lord
Chrissy
Jesus.
and Ricky not that long ago. So yeah.
That's how the whole Corn series began.
Well,
I didn't watch that
Chrissy
episode.
and Ricky were at DeadCon, and we hung out a lot with them and Chrissy's two fun-loving kids. They were a lot of fun.
Yeah, there you go. There's actually my twin he's got my part of the brain tonight. That's Tim. So Tim's actually got the yellow underwear on.
So then you have a triplet because you said John is your twin.
No. We share the same brain.
Okay, so it's your brain twin. Your brain twin.
My brain
Yeah.
twin.
Okay.
I got the good half. Howard got the bad.
John
half.
is your twin.
He's my twin.
John is your real twin. Your twin.
And they both my twins.
There's a little
John's
keyhole
my
behind
twin.
my ear
Okay.
here, and I open it up, and then top of it comes off, and I take the brain out and put it.
I'm gonna correct it, Rosie. I'm gonna correct it for you. John is my twin, okay,
Yes.
but Tim is my brother.
Gotcha.
Got it.
And Rosie, when bald guys get wigs, it's not pretty.
It's not.
No.
Who's that? Somebody posted that. I'm trying to figure out who posted that.
I don't know.
That's funny though.
I've got a good idea who.
You know,
Name start with an S,
Josh.
end with a dot.
Josh a D.
Probably a C.
That's probably Mr. Boss Man there, Howard.
Oh,
Ah.
the boss
Either
is
that or I
working.
was
He's
thinking of
working.
making the
He
Jack
said he
Richardson.
wasn't coming on tonight.
I think Jack
Either him or Nick.
It might be Nick. I think Boss Man's working tonight. Well, I should rather call him the White Wookiee of Indiana.
No, he's not working. I was texting him earlier.
Oh man.
Jeremy, the White Wookiee of Indiana.
So what you gonna do? What you gonna do with all that meat once you kill that deer?
I'm gonna grind it up and put it in the freezer.
For Clarissa.
You wanna grind it up, man. You can make some nice little steaks. You got that back strap going
the
on.
tenderloins I eat that day.
Yeah,
I throw them right on the grill.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Get your meat thermometer, grill the tenderloin to sear it first, then turn your heat down and grill it to 165 internal temp. Take it off, and while it's resting,
What you use that? What do you have?
While it's resting, put garlic butter on top.
What do you have?
Slice it.
No, you said you use something thermometer? You have a meat thermometer?
Yeah, meat thermometer.
I don't have that. I just lick it. And if it's then it's ready. I know it's ready.
You gotta with deer, you really need to cook it to 165 internal temp to make sure that you kill off any bacteria.
Yeah.
Because you never know.
But you're also supposed to eat the heart of your first kill.
Drink the blood or something like that.
Nah.
I do that already.
Nah.
Yeah, every kill's my first kill. Then I kill anything.
What I do, Will, is I leave the heart there for the coyote to eat.
I'm lazy. I am lazy. I'm lazy. I'll hunt anything in that refrigerator, day or night. I will. I mean, I stalk it. I got a little blind behind
If
it.
I had to guess, since last Saturday, I've probably walked 15, maybe 20 miles out deer hunting.
Well, there's my co-owner right there, Mr. Gabriel Herrera. He's co-owner with me on everything.
Okay.
He's asking, as an empath, when you visit a location for investigation, do you hear names or a voice trying to tell you something, or seeing images of something or someone in your mind?
Yes. Yes, and yeah. So, there's occasional times where they'll tell me their names. There obviously is voices. I hear voices in my head. Okay. And, seeing images and something, So absolutely, when I walk in as an empath and it's the medium side at that point. Although empathic people, it's actually a good combination to be a medium and an empath, because we're also connecting to the deceased emotionally too, which when you connect with them on that level, I don't know, I just seem like they're more open and more, it's strange. I treat the deceased like they're people. So it's just, I can connect with them on another level, I feel like. And yeah, absolutely. I go in and it's like imagery in my head, and I can hear the sounds and all that. So absolutely.
And he's just wondering because he experienced things like that. Not all the time, but he does.
Right.
Facebook user, you have to make sure you put your name behind it, so we don't know who you are.
Or Josh. I'm not sure.
Says Clarissa, what's your favorite place to investigate with your abilities? Cemetery, asylum, private investigations, etc.
Residentials are probably my favorite, only because I'm usually there with a purpose other than just to investigate for the fun of it. I do enjoy going to public places also, only because I actually really enjoy history. And I love learning about a place too. Usually I don't learn about the details of it until after I do a walkthrough, unless I'm just going there as an investigator, because I'll go sometime and I'm just like, guys, I'm just investigating tonight. I'm not going to open up, which it never happens. I always get, hey, Clarissa, what you feeling? All the time. So I'm like, okay, well, let's dive into this. But so yeah, I usually what was I saying? Yeah, public places. My least favorite place actually is cemeteries. I don't know why.
I love the cemetery. I love it.
I do
I
too.
just really outdoor spaces as a whole, though, kind of. It's not. I don't know why. Unless it's like ancient burial ground, like Indian burial grounds. I'm like not interested in land as much.
Yeah, I love the cemeteries. I do. I mean, you don't have to go chasing down and worry about using somebody's bathroom in a residential, and you just go right there. We're behind a tombstone.
Oh
It's
my
all
gosh.
good. It's all good. It's not disrespectful. I mean, don't think that. It's you have a purpose, and they're not of
I
this
think
earth,
this is cool. I
and
did too,
you are.
Nicole. I was thinking that
Yeah.
too.
This always gets me, and I hate to say it like this, but it does.
Yeah.
Every time I talk, because you have to remember, Howard and I, we came up during the years of Miss Cleo and the Dionne Warwick era.
A
And
second fans hotline
that's right.
976.
99 cents the first minute and $10 every minute after that, and scandals.
Mhm.
So it made a lot of us really skeptical for a long time.
Right.
But every time I hear somebody talking about it, my mind always reverts back to that movie with Bruce Willis and the little boy.
Sixth
The
Sense.
little-
The Sixth Sense.
yeah, that's it.
I thought you were going to say Whoopi
my mind always
Goldberg.
reverts, and it's always like I hear dead people, I see dead people.
Yeah,
I'm like,
I know.
but looking back on that movie now, it's like when it first came out, it like totally blew my mind, and then I was like,
Yeah.
But now that I've been around more people and I've been more accepting of it and less skeptical of it, I'm always like, that kid was just a medium, and nobody knew he was gifted, and nobody knew enough about it.
Right.
Yeah.
I love
maybe
that movie when it first came out. It was a
good
people would come.
movie.
You see that? That little boy said, "I see dead people," and I would fart, and I say, "And I can smell them too."
Oh God.
But
That was
in
a
a
fun
sense,
time.
in a sense, that's what that movie was about. But people didn't know enough about it, so it was kind of listed as a thriller type movie.
Mhm.
When in reality, now to me, it's like totally not scary at all. It's just, which it was never scary to me to begin with.
Have y'all seen that new movie? That's I don't know if it's new. I mean, it's
Black Phone?
no, Jackie won't watch it without me. She's scared. Oh, she's a paranormal investigator, but she won't watch a scary movie, or go in a dark room. I ain't going in there. But
That sounds familiar.
I have no interest in horror movies.
Paranormal Activity.
I'm gonna
Next
say,
kin.
sometimes you just have the feeling like you're not supposed to go in that room, and it usually turns out to be a pretty darn good feeling, Clarissa.
I haven't seen the
That's what
new
they're talking
Paranormal
about.
Activity yet.
It's the newest. It's something about the Amish. This one's about the
Next
Amish.
of kin or whatever they call the next.
Yeah.
of kin or something
I
like
haven't
that,
seen
yeah.
that one yet.
I haven't
It's
seen
on right
3 or
now.
4 of
I'm
them,
not a
so
big,
I
I'm
don't
not a
even
big,
know.
huge fan of those movies, but
I'm not either.
you know,
I am. I
Watch it, I
love all
guess,
your
but-
others.
well, being an investigator, it's like, it's kind of
Yeah.
like, come on, like,
Yeah.
quit calling it Paranormal Activity because that's not Paranormal Activity, but the first movie would be the closest thing to Paranormal Activity.
Maybe the second.
Jackie,
Yeah, maybe.
I haven't seen
Get
any
my
of
little
them after the
statue.
first one,
But-
so I don't know.
But
It's all the same to me.
but they were just so unrealistic to me that it was, a little far fetched.
but yeah, have y'all since you started, Clarissa? Have you had fans yet? I mean, you have a following. William's over there like,
I know you
A
have
little
at
bit.
least one admirer.
I have a handful of really supportive people that are pretty local, I would say. I wouldn't say I have a fan base. I don't know if I have any stalkers. If I do, hey.
I love
Okay.
Rosie. I mean, I watch Rosie shows. I try to catch them and stuff like that. I love Rosie. Rosie, she's my home girl.
What?
I'm all in the family.
About 7 or 8 months ago, we had this kid contact us, and he's like, he contacted Crystal actually, and he was like, I know you guys are like big in the paranormal field, and you're probably way too busy, but I'd really like you to come on an investigation with us, and I know you guys are celebrities, so you guys. And Chris is like, "Are you kidding me? We're like the most normal people on the face of the planet."
Yeah. Oh, that does remind me. I do actually.
And now he's on our team.
Yeah. Wait,
Wow,
is it
that's awesome.
Blake?
Yeah, Blake.
Because so last year I did a show with Ghoulie TV that has on YouTube. You can look it up. It's had over 7,000 views. Blake actually treated me the exact same way when he met me. Blake, we love you, but we are not celebrities. And he's like, "You run Ghoulie TV," and I'm like, "Yes."
I remember that night. I remember
That was me.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
I'm
Isn't
working
it
with
funny
Blake
though?
now.
with him
It's
last
really
Saturday.
I'm working with Blake now, so I mean, I'm trying to help him come along and see, try to get him where he needs to
I'm
be.
working with my wig
And
now.
just as crazy as I am. Well, I was asking because a fan sent this to me, and I'm still trying to. I threw the box away. I don't know, but a fan sent that to me.
Oh my gosh, that's cool.
That is cool.
It's like a pumpkin head.
Like a cryptid
Yeah.
or something, or like a ghoul or something.
Almost
I
like
was going
a
to drill a little hole
Jeepers
right there.
Creepers kind of guy.
Yeah. He's like bony butt crack. That's what he goes to.
But it's like he's all vined up and everything.
Yeah.
I have to do my.
And that's
They like your shirt, Will. Somebody does.
Somebody like
What's
shirt.
that?
Somebody
Oh.
likes your shirt.
Oh yeah.
I'm
Right.
Jeremy
Thank
York.
you, Howard.
Welcome to Things. Yay.
Didn't have enough hair.
That's Jeremy.
No, it needs more hair.
What's
A
really
lot.
weird, Clarissa, this will happen, I'm sure, is when you walk out in public and someone comes up to you and they're like, "Oh my gosh, I know you," and they act like you're really famous, and they're like, "Will you take a picture with me?" You're like, "Who do you think I am?" And they're like saying, you're like, "Yeah, why do you think I'm famous?"
Yeah. Yeah.
And a lot of the times I think I have a face that someone will be like, "Are you so and so from Texas?" And I'm like, "No, that's not me."
Take the picture and let him believe it,
Yeah.
I used to get that a lot. I used to get
Is
that
it
a
your
lot
name?
when I was in Florida because I was on the radio
Oh.
and I DJ'd nightclubs.
What's he laughing at?
So I was always getting people walking up to me on the street wanting me to take pictures with them.
Aw.
Oh, I can imagine that too. Aren't you Eileen Jones?
I don't know what they're talking about.
I think he's talking
Oh,
about you, Rosie.
no, I'm talking about you, Jim.
Oh,
Oh, when
me?
I walked up to her, when I walked up and met her,
I'm close, but not Eileen. Close.
I just couldn't believe how tall she was in person when
That's
I met
when-
her. I was like,
Who, Eileen?
I
Oh,
thought she
she's
was a
not
little
tall.
bitty- I thought she was a little bitty person, but she's taller than me, like quite a bit taller than me.
Now,
So,
Rosie, I've
like-
met Jason, so Jason's way tall.
Yeah,
Hey,
he's
Jason's a
As
good
tall
guy.
as I am, if not
he
a little
doesn't look
taller.
little bitty on camera. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
He doesn't
well.
look like he's little bitty. She does.
I know.
I don't
He's
look
very
tall on
quiet.
camera.
He's a very quiet person. He's well, he's like reserved. You can't get a word out of
No,
Jason.
no, he's not. No, he
But
ain't.
you get him liquored up, he's all crazy, huh?
No, I've never seen him liquored up. I don't know if I went to or not. I'm not sure. But I've never seen him liquored up. No. What?
I seen he started a new job. That's good.
Mhm.
That he hates. So I mean, that's a good thing.
I didn't see that. I was
All
supposed
of
to
us
start a
will
new
tell you
job,
work
but
is work.
That work is work.
I got offered my
So what do y'all
dream
do?
job, but I can't
That's a
do it.
good question. What do y'all do on y'all off time? I mean, in the real world. I mean, this is for all of us. A lot of us, this is a hobby. That's all it is.
Right.
But what do y'all do in the real world? Like me, I go around and try to eat as many Taco Bells and stuff like that I could possibly find. I won't go to
Professionally?
Cracker Barrel or McDonald's. Yeah, I am a Yelp. Reviewer.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
You leaving all the bad reviews or what?
I write it all.
Reviews?
I'm self-proclaimed.
Oh,
Yelp.
okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I made a card and everything. It's awesome. You ought to see the free stuff you get. Oh,
No, outside of the paranormal, I don't do a lot more than this. Because because
I
it does.
watched murder documentaries.
I am obsessed with murder documentaries, but I love documentaries. But right now I'm binge watching the first 48. So that's a thing.
Be scared, Will. Be very afraid. Be very afraid, Will.
I'm learning how to hide a murder. Other than that, I mean, I have 2 kids, so they keep me busy somewhat. But yeah, other than that, I mean, I work a day job like everybody else. It's a boring office job, you know. So
Like that, yeah, I'm sorry. Your office job. I mean, no.
is it impressive? Like, am I like telling you about my job history here? Why are you writing it down?
But no, I'm writing it down because you are like every woman I've ever talked to. For some reason, they love the murder porn. I mean, they know I get scared to shit sleeping next to Jackie. Okay, I'm scared. They'll be finding my body about 30 years from now out in the woods somewhere. Okay, she's gonna hack me up in little pieces. She's got. I mean,
the Gators.
I was just gonna say she could blame it on the Gators.
it happened during Hurricane Ida.
Mm-hmm.
It did. Baby, I need that basket out of this shit. Okay, baby, I'm going out there to get it for you. Alligator. Gone. Ain't found him yet.
I mean, if it makes you feel any better, my alternative to murder and trauma like that is HGTV. So you can have one way or the other. Do you want grandma or do you want crazy killer lady? I just,
I'd rather grandma because she HGTV. You're learning something. You're learning how to make a cookie. You know how to make a hot chocolate. That's good in my favor. Okay, I like that. You can grow some stuff.
Antique archaeology also. So.
Oh yeah, I've been watching that too. I don't know if you guys know what
that's
that
the
is.
show we watched together.
American Pickers.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. I don't know if you know what it is. It was back in the 2000s.
Kim, notice it. Notice the way. Blink if you're there. If you need to be released.
Blink if you need help. Blink if you need help.
Morse code.
You see what Irene said?
I still remember SOS.
Irene.
3 short, 3 long, 3 short.
And I do wear, on occasion, I like to treat myself, and I do wear a thong. It happens
actually not that uncomfortable.
Oh my god.
I like it. I mean, I'm like dental floss.
I just heard what you said.
Bed.
I'm learning all sorts of things about you tonight. Oh my gosh.
That's funny.
Every time I bowl, it just cuts me right in 2. No, I'm good.
I'm gonna have to say, if you got a tramp stamp on your back, you're automatically revoked your man card. Just take it away.
Oh my god.
No back tattoo.
But the G-string's okay. Okay, so we'll get that straight out.
Right now.
The more you know.
There's that little thing goes. Do-do-do-do.
Little rainbow.
See, this is fun, isn't it, Clarissa?
I have a question.
Yes, it is.
Since there's a break and there's a silence, awkward silence, I'll just throw it in there. What's the weirdest medium or empathic experience that you've ever had?
The
Or craziest? Weirdest or craziest?
Or strangest. Strangest, craziest.
Sexiest.
That would be
Save it for tomorrow night. We can go into
Yeah, save that for tomorrow.
details with this.
Oh my god.
And I will ask that question tomorrow. I'm writing that one down.
I don't know if I'm gonna
Is it like stripper or burlesque? I want to know.
I mean, really the strangest. God, I've had so many that I can just think of. Like, I have to think now. Like, think now. Because, I mean, I've come across so many weird entities that I wasn't sure what they were. Like, at the Crown Point recently, that was one where it was... It was, they were calling it a humanoid, the people that were running the place. But
What
it
is
was
that? What's a humanoid?
well, I don't really understand how they explained it. So I'll explain what I felt.
Humanoid.
Okay, yeah, tell me what you
was
felt.
something that looked human but wasn't.
Yeah. So anyways, to me, it was actually fuzzy. It was a little bit dog-like, but also I guess, go/devil-like. It's really weird, but it
Like a demon?
slithered up.
Like a demon.
Like it didn't just walk, it slithered up to try and say something in my ear, which was very strange. So it was such a mix of different type of like what it could be. It wasn't like, oh, this was a dog or this was a human or this was a it was
Like a hellhound or
it
something.
was weird. And that was
alien.
Maybe. I do wonder sometimes. If
Did
they
it
are
say
from
something to you? Or
So I
what
have
did it
two-
say?
started speaking, but I could not understand it. And then I just felt an overwhelming sense of I need to get out of here because I don't think it's good to hear what they had to say.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of glad I couldn't understand what it was saying. But it was just like, but it sounded like another language of some sort. And so it was very uncomfortable. But I walked past, what, your K2, and the K2 went off because I'm like, it's on me.
Yeah, it went full red.
And it went, as soon as I walked past K2, the thing shot up. And then I got past it, and I had to leave the room and go out to the common area.
It wasn't just mine. The other ladies had K2s also.
Yeah,
so
when I
there was
walked past them.
three
So
that went off.
I just felt like it was like trying to like consume me. So I
probably
just
trying to take you over since you had abilities. It could probably tell, and it probably thought you would be like a host for it or something like that. Does that make sense?
Probably, but no, it wasn't welcome. So that's why, like, no, I gotta go. That was probably one of the strangest, most recent situations I've been in. Yeah, I've been in some really awkward situations for reading for people. I would say definitely because I have a tendency to not just pick up on the happy stuff. I'm really good at picking up on tragedies, stuff like that, and and I've tried to explain things to them without saying it out loud, like, because I don't, I try to keep readings as private as possible. Even when I did I used to go to Paracons and actually read for people. I stopped doing that because it's exhausting.
Yeah.
It's really tiring. So I stopped doing it, and I'm not willing to charge people an arm and a leg. So people will come to me because it's affordable. When I was doing those. So,
I was telling Jeff bye. He said he has to go.
Okay. And so I've had some very awkward conversations, I would say, for sure.
Well, I have two questions for you.
Sure.
One is from me and one is from my wife.
Okay.
So for me, what part of Crown Point was that in?
Anna.
In front of Anna's cell.
Yeah.
Okay. That answers part 2 from Crystal.
That's not surprising to me for some reason.
That Crystal is Anna.
Yeah.
Crystal and Anna are like that.
Yeah.
They are. No, you haven't seen the pictures?
We
They look
put a
alike.
picture of
They
Crystal.
look
We
alike.
put up a picture of Anna
It's really
online.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah,
she's
she's a woman.
reincarnated.
And Crystal looks a lot like her.
That's crazy.
I know, man. Tim, you got to be glad your last name ain't Bobbitt. Man,
Yeah, she
I
ain't
feel
that
for
crazy.
you, brother.
Nation Radio.
She's crazy, but she's not that crazy. Anna poisoned like
John Wayne
almost
Bobbitt
her
didn't think so
entire
either.
family.
Yeah.
White people.
She poisoned 5 total people and killed 4 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go look at the pictures. Look at the picture of her and look at Crystal.
Hang on, I'll try to pull it. Do I have screen share ability on this?
Yeah, just
I
go
don't
down
know,
to
do you?
share on the bottom where it says
Yeah.
share.
And it'll pop up
And
on my end,
then
and
once you
I'll
click
let
on
it in.
share, it's going to ask, do you want to use like Google Bar or something else, and it'll
I'll
show
pull it
you
up.
what you want to click on. Yeah.
No porno,
What was Anna's last name, Crystal?
unless it's midgets. I'm into that.
They're mean. They're not nice, Howard.
Midget porn.
I think there's
I'm
actually
ready.
some of those from New Orleans
I got popcorn for that. Yeah, special popcorn.
in Vegas.
Yeah. You get it?
I'm trying to find it. There it is.
Oh, scary shit here, boy. Where's she at? Where's Crystal?
She's standing here.
Oh no.
Tell her to peek in and let you just see the picture.
She's not.
Oh God. God.
We need that side by side.
Yeah. I don't know if he can do that or not, but you have to like. What was that?
Where's it at?
It sounds like somebody getting sick.
Yeah.
No,
I'm not doing that.
it's Howard.
I got to get ready my voice.
There it is, Howard. So there's Anna.
Yeah,
Okay.
I can see.
She's got a little bit more weight than Crystal. Just a little bit more weight. Not much. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, she's a little bit heavier. Crystal keeps in shape, that's for sure.
I don't stop.
Amen, sister.
Make a frown face like she is.
That's a normal face, man. Look, put her up there.
No, we need a little side profile. Look that
Especially
way.
this past month. Especially this past month. Her filling in for the big dog.
It's something about the eyes, you know? Like,
Where's
it's weird.
Crystal's picture? I want to try to get it.
Her cheeks and her forehead and her eyebrows.
Oh, I can't do it. Shit. But that is Crystal.
Yeah, I could definitely see it.
I can see what you're saying. Yeah, for sure. That's so crazy.
And look at Crystal. Go up to that screen, Crystal.
Now
Show
you
me your
need to
face.
go look and
I
see
can
if
see
there's
it.
Pull that hat back a little bit. There you go. There it is. See that? There it is.
They share a lot of the same features like high cheekbones, the nose,
Yep.
the chin.
And the
Nice.
this too, and the
Yeah.
forehead and the eyebrows. But you
That's
can see right now,
wild.
Thank you, Irene. I agree.
All right, Mr. Carl,
I
we'll
agree,
see you
too.
Friday night. I'm excited to see that interview.
you look a little less murdery too, Crystal.
Some days.
So some days.
Now, did you have a second question, Tim?
Other days I go hunting.
Okay, the second
My
question
other
was,
question
you
was
answered-
just
it was
what, what you felt in Anna's area.
Oh, okay. That was it.
Yeah.
Well, what I
Yeah.
was telling you about, yeah.
Yeah, good old Anna.
I can sleep in her room. I can go sleep in her cell.
Yeah, Crystal can go in there and go to sleep.
Oh,
But she goes back in there with all ladies and no men, and the atmosphere in the room totally changes.
oh really?
Yeah. Because I had the bright idea all night long, all these women kept going through with groups of men as well. And they're
Yeah.
like, oh, we feel so comfortable in this area. We feel so comfortable in this area.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, maybe Anna will be more active and talk more if we send an all-female team in there.
Yeah.
So we took all the girls that were there, and they all went in there, and every one of them come back out of there mad at me for having that idea.
Were you with us when that happened? I don't think any guys were there when I had the experience. I think just me and that two other women
Which experience?
talking about the the thing slithering up and talking
I
to
was
me.
there.
Did they have
you
any
were
similar
there?
experience?
I was the only guy at that time.
Well, her famous saying was she only hurt people she loved.
Oh yeah. Gotcha.
She killed her husband and 3 out of 5 of her children. She poisoned a 4th child,
Yeah.
and that child ended up surviving, but was in like a
He was paralyzed.
paralytic state the rest of his life from it.
Oh wow.
Jeez.
That's how
Yeah.
she got caught.
That's how she got caught.
Yeah.
And she poisoned them all with
Arsenic
arsenic
on bread and butter sandwiches.
Arsenic
on
butter.
bread and butter.
Wow. Gotta watch who feeds you.
I did a
That's like
lot.
a-
Chris and I did a lot of research on that place after we went there for the first time.
Yeah.
It's like a scene from The Sixth Sense.
Yeah,
You know, remember that
Yes.
part with the little girl? The little girl, the mama was poisoned.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
have a question for you, Clarissa.
Sure.
When you were there, did you pick up a security guard or like a guard or someone that would have been in charge of the pool?
I've been there a couple times. The first time I was over there was a couple years ago, and yes, in the what is it called? The big area, the common area where they have like the benches in the middle and between. That's the area that I remember the first time I was there sensing that.
Yeah.
But I think there's been reports in other parts of the area, parts of the building that have had, same experiences.
Mhm.
My favorite experience in that place was in the spot that most people don't get to go in.
The basement?
No.
Oh,
There's one wing of it that has a bunch of really bad graffiti on the wall, so they don't like people going in there because
Gotcha.
it is wildly inappropriate. But she allowed Jeremy and I to go back there,
okay.
and I'm walking through, and I've got 3 feet above my head with nothing.
That's
3
what I'm
feet
talking about.
with the ceiling in my head, and my hat went like that.
That's what I'm talking about.
From all the way down, covered my ears.
Yeah.
It just straight up like that. And Jeremy was standing in front of me and saw it happen.
Yep. That would be crazy.
Yeah. And I'm like looking around, trying to find what it got caught on. Nothing.
Mhm.
There's nothing there. Not a string, not a hook, nothing. Not even to a spider web. And Jeremy's like, well, that was a really, really tall ghost.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you're a very tall guy. So, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, being in a medium and everything, a psychic. I don't know the terminology of that part, but have you ever came face to face with something as of the world, otherworldly, as in a spirit that you said you had the thing that was crawling up to you that was like snake-like or whatever?
That probably wasn't human. Are you asking if probably
Just
wasn't
human? Just human. That let's put this. Okay, have you ever done an investigation or done a reading for someone while investigating and see a loved one from someone that's passed, that their loved one has passed, that you can actually sit down and tell them this is what they're like Whoopi Goldberg did in Ghost.
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting to. Have you ever done that?
Well, I've talked to a lot of deceased loved ones, other people's deceased loved ones.
Like carrying a message over to them.
Yeah, I've done that quite a bit. That's probably one of the most common requests I get for when it comes to online photo readings is talking to a deceased loved one. Because, God, I've done so many. I've had a couple cases that were primarily requested because of the manner of their death, wanting to get questions answered. I've had that. A lot of them, some of them have relatives that they've never got to meet. So I've had that. But yeah, getting requests to speak to a deceased loved one is very common for me. I'm very used to doing that. Has
it been good news or bad news?
Well, I believe that when you pass, you are the same person you were in life.
Yep.
I believe that. I believe that there's very, very few people that I felt have moved on to one of the most pure places you could think of. Okay. Very few, which is sad to say, I'm sure, because I will not sit there and tell you that your relative has gone to heaven or hell. I don't do that. I will tell you if I feel like they're in a better place, what it feels like, because I don't want to dive into anything that's too religious based. I want to tell you pretty much here's the place they're at. It's bright, it's white, it's comfortable, it feels clear, pure, stuff like that. I'd rather
that could be a restroom. That could be a restroom right there. I mean,
it could, and if it was, I probably would tell them it's they're sitting on the toilet. But that's I don't want to put specific names behind. I don't like saying they're in a better place unless I truly feel like they're in a better place. Because I know from watching, everybody watches these mediums online. It's always happy. It's always happy-go-lucky. They're in a better place. They're so proud.
What I'm asking is,
blah, blah,
have you ever got a message from a deceased person, and would they wanted you to deliver a message to a living person? That's what I was basically asking.
Yes.
Okay. Like they just randomly came up to her?
Right. If I died, okay, and I would come to you and say, that's what would that be? That's the question I'm asking. I mean, or there's a lot of money in the drawer, in this drawer. There's a money over here, or something. Some good news or something uplifting. How many of those have you had compared to the bad?
Well, okay, so you're talking about like unsolicited people coming to me, not like a request. You're talking about people just coming to me with messages. Is that what you're referring to?
Right. Deceased people.
Yes. I typically get those in my dreams. I have been holding on to a message from a childhood friend's mother for years because I'm actually afraid to go to them and tell them, hey, by the way, I haven't talked to these people in, 10, 15 years. I didn't even know their mom passed away until years after she passed. And we were childhood friends. And I've always wanted to tell them how, and actually their mom she's come to my dreams several times, and she's a very positive person in life, and she's very positive after life. And she's told me all about how proud she is of her 3 kids and all that stuff. But I can't. Why are you laughing?
Irene's
comment. I just can't work it up to just like randomly message them on Facebook and say, hey, I'm just gonna bring this up. By the way, your mom wants to say hi. Blah blah. I just can't do it.
Why? I mean, to me, I would think if I came to you and I wanted you to deliver a message, and I'm deceased, and you didn't deliver that message, I would be angry with you, knowing that I knew you could do it.
Because it was a childhood friend that has anything to do with it?
It's a friend I don't talk to anymore. It's somebody I haven't talked to since middle school. And one of the last conversations I had with her was actually when her dad passed away. She lost both her parents young. Was when her dad passed away. It was one of the last few conversations I had with her. And they were just neighborhood kids in the same neighborhood. We used to run around together, hang out. I mean, I have one friend left from my childhood because everybody moved away, or just we didn't have Facebook like they do now. And I don't use my Facebook for personal stuff anymore. I use it for the paranormal. So, I just everybody goes their separate ways. And to get messages from them, I don't know if I want to open that can of worms up. 20 years later and be like,
wait a minute, you use your Facebook page just for the paranormal? You don't have a separate page for yourself? Why?
Nope. Why? Most of my friends are in the paranormal. I don't.
No, I mean, you don't, contact loved ones or relatives or.
I have
She
a phone
said
for
it
that.
can get exhausting, so I'm gonna see that. Like, she probably doesn't want to do that 24/7.
Yeah, I don't. I used to, when I first got Facebook, I would have all sorts of friends, all sorts of coworkers, all that. And then when I got into the paranormal, I'm like, no. I mean, I really want my pages to be about the paranormal.
And it can be exhausting just keeping track of who's who on Facebook.
Yeah.
Yes, it can.
And I don't know if you know this, but I live in the Bible Belt, and people are very judgmental around here.
Yes, I do.
And so for me to befriend some high schooler, whatever.
Wait to come up here, Howard. Wait to come up here. There's a church.
No, you see that? Yeah. They're the Bible Belt, oh Lord, and everything else. And guess what? 2 weeks from now, I see them puking their guts up over on Bourbon Street somewhere.
That be good and well, but Clarissa,
their little fun castles on there, about there
Rosie
swinging their
Page
little
is not even
castles
my
and
name.
everything. Yeah, right. Yeah, the Bible
Rosie
Belt.
Page
Podcast
is
is
a
Howard
fake
Mardi
name.
Gras be.
Not my
Mardi
real
Gras
name.
be.
I've thought about using a pseudonym, but I don't.
I've created it because of stalkers, and it just happened to work out for the paranormal instead. But I had to create it to get away from a stalker that I had that was getting pretty bad.
Her name is Rosie
I didn't
Page.
use my normal page because I didn't, I couldn't even use it because I was being stalked.
Yeah.
And keep my friends and my family safe, so I made this page, and people started knowing me so much with this name. I met people and they'd call me Rosie Page. I was like, damn, what am I supposed to do now? So
I used to have stalkers, then I lost my hair.
I'm Rosie Page. Yeah.
I sent Rosie here about a week ago, huh, Rosie? Her very first, I don't know if it was her very first time coming on a network and talking, and you should have seen her. She was so, oh my goodness, she was so back in the corner at first, and then she was
quiet.
Oh yeah, she was all over the place, and we got to talk. I said, "You ought to do a podcast." And it took you about 2 or 3 months, a month, or something like that. You wound up starting your own podcast.
Yeah. They kept asking me, and I was like, I don't know about that. I don't know if I can do that or not.
I'm curious. I actually have a question for both Clarissa and Rosie.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Have either of you tried to read anything off of an object?
I'll let her answer first.
Yes, I have tried to read off of objects. I've been at people's houses, and they would be like, "Oh man, you got to look at this. What do you think this is?"
I'm gonna mail you some shit.
Bring it on.
Will's done it to me. Will handed me a Dybbuk box, and I read the Dybbuk box.
Was it weird?
It was like, what, our second week into dating? I was like, here, read this.
Yeah, and he hands me a Dybbuk box, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah. If you feel brave enough, I'll send you a package.
Okay.
Do you want to know?
I will.
How about you?
How about remote viewing?
Yeah, I've done readings via phone.
No. I'm talking about remote viewing. I mean, just sit back and then come back and tell the person.
Well,
basically like an astral travel, but you're probably going to get to that.
Right, astral projection.
One time I did read for this guy, and it was via phone, but here's what we did. So there was a certain area about 45 to an hour away from me. Okay. He wanted me to read specifically that area. I wrote down what it looked like. I told him, it was basically a park and had all these trails that went in specific ways. And I drew a little picture, which I'm not an artist, so I drew a picture the best I can. And, so I mean, that's probably as remote as it gets to me jumping into a location from afar. Is that what you're meaning? Is that what you're specifically?
No, that's not. Well, yeah. I was going to set up. I was going to work with unexplained cases on a reading. Actually, Mary Ann and we had Jennifer Lee, and those are really gifted women. and we was going to do a live presentation of them doing a reading from the Titanic,
Okay.
and let them astral project or whatever they, remote view what's going on and see if they can pick up, people that were still there on the boat.
Right.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
But we was
Rosie,
going
what
to
about
set
you?
that up.
Do you do stuff with objects?
I do stuff with objects
And
every
do
day.
either of you have to touch the object?
That's like
What, Tim? What'd you say?
Do you read objects as well?
That's how actually I started doing this. To
Oh,
practice.
really?
Yeah, to practice getting stronger at using my ability and reading energy and like detecting things rather than just going to places, because that started getting dangerous for me because I went to some bad places and I didn't expect what was going to happen.
Wow.
I started going to thrift stores, antique stores, and people would send me stuff, and I started reading objects first instead because it was less dangerous to me than what was happening before. Because I don't know if Clarissa's like dealt with this or not, but when I was saying stalker, I'm talking about like dark magic, black magic, witchcraft, voodoo, someone putting spells on you and casting crap on you. Stalker. So I
Gotcha.
just kind of like shut that off and closed that Pandora box and was like, I'm just going to deal with objects for now. And I worked on a project for a little bit with a friend of mine named Ricky doing haunted pickers, which is like basically like that show you were talking about, but the haunted version,
Yeah.
working with objects instead.
Yeah.
So
Wait, do you see that clock? That's the reason I asked.
yeah,
It's been in my family for about 50 years.
a grandma.
It was my grandma's.
Yeah.
Well, we used to, it's got a winder and then you hit the thing and it goes,
hmm
Well, that clock hasn't been wound in years.
Well, no.
And even when you wind it, it won't go anymore.
Yeah.
But and it's the kind of clock that chimes out the hour and chimes the half hour.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, it just chimes all by itself.
Huh.
You know what I call that? I call that you need to get your clock fixed.
I feel like you would be the person that would take it apart and try to fix it, right, Tim? I feel like you would try to do that.
Yeah, I probably would, but I'm not. I'm not a clock person. I don't know enough about
Yeah.
clocks, but I would probably try to take it apart and fix it if it wasn't
That's what I would.
so
I'd
old of
try.
an heirloom.
Yeah.
Because I'm the
You know,
third
it's put
generation
together.
of my family that's owned it, and
I
it's a
feel
really
like it would
beautiful
be like
clock.
your grandma or an aunt or somebody that's messing with you through the clock trying to get your attention.
But the funny thing is, I've actually heard that clock. That clock has been stuck at.
No, I changed it.
Oh, you changed it?
Well, when I tried to wind it.
Just to mess with
Okay.
you, Tim.
She changed it when she tried to wind it.
That's
But
funny.
it was, for years, it was at the same time, and I've actually heard that chime the correct time
Yeah.
when it wasn't the time on the face of the clock.
What time was it? Do you remember?
I don't know. It was in the afternoon, and it was on Thanksgiving Day. We were at my parents' house because this hung at my parents' house for a long time.
This is probably going to sound stupid, but I feel like if that time chimed and it was the right time, that time had a significant purpose for some reason.
Mm.
It
Or
might
the
have.
number of that
I
time,
have
the
no
number.
idea.
I don't know. Numbers and patterns.
Now I don't know
are really weird.
about
My
Clarissa.
dad hated that clock.
Yeah. I bet
And I
Howard would
really
break it.
hated that clock when it used to tick and chime because I would stay the night at my grandma's house
Mhm.
and all night long, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, all night long. And then dong dong. And I'm like in the room trying to sleep with that clock going all night long. On my grandma's
When you're
couch.
talking about the clock ringing, now I'm gonna tell you now. Everybody here knows that, except I think William and Clarissa doesn't. Well, I told y'all last week. When I was on your show, I do live in a haunted house. Okay, my house is haunted. Now, with your clock situation, Tim, can it be something like what I go through in my home, where I hear music box and I don't own a music box?
Yeah, that's like
I don't know because that thing I have it and I've heard it audibly chime from that clock.
From the clock itself.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not spectral. You can tell it's coming from the clock, and that thing is loud when it dongs.
Wow.
Yeah, it hasn't done it since we've had it. We've only had it for a short while. My mom was talking about tossing it out.
I remember when I think we was talking, we was FaceTiming each other. And I remember I think he was in the garage taking some stuff out and stuff like that, moving stuff around. And I remember that.
My mom was talking about tossing it out, and I'm like, no, I'll take it. It's been in the family for a long time, so things like that, that I remember from my childhood and stuff, I try to keep. But since my dad passed, my mom has been on a crazy kick getting rid of stuff in the house.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that. I'm totally different. I hoarded everything. I kept everything the same.
No, she kept a lot of his stuff, but stuff that my dad had kept that were old keepsakes from his childhood. She's like, yeah, I don't really need that. I don't really want that. I don't. One of the things I found was my original Cub Scout knife, my original Cub Scout pocket knife. Yeah, my dad held on to it all these years.
That's good. Well, that's a good thing because he loves you that much. He held on to it for you.
I know it.
I got a question for both Rosie and Clarissa.
I feel like Clarissa really wants to say something.
Clarissa being on our guest. Okay.
Hang on. Wait 1 second, Howard. 1 second. Hold your question for just a second. Go ahead, Clarissa. What do you want to say?
Oh, I don't remember. we were talking about haunted objects, and then it had me thinking about like all this crap in my house and not hearing noises and all the noises we hear in my house, and then people talking, Mimicker. I posted about Mimicker the other day. I don't know if you guys saw that.
Yeah, I did.
But
come on down and sleep in Jessica's room. I welcome you.
It's gotten worse in my house. I think it's this guy's fault, to be honest. I really do, because things were really quiet.
They always blame the men, William. They always blame the men.
It's the ghosts that were here before I moved in.
Some of them, okay, so it was kind of weird because when Will moved in, he asked me about ghosts that I had not told him about. So I will say for a fact, yes, some of them were already here, but the amount of change over the last year, it's just like, it's getting crazy around here. So, I mean, I'll probably be reaching out to a couple teams, hint tents, things, and a couple other teams to come and actually investigate without me, because I thought that I kept it quiet around here, and usually things are quiet around here when I'm around, but now it's getting crazy. So you were talking about, you
brought that sexy man in the house, and they're excited to see him.
Well, I mean, apparently, because I don't know if you saw the comments on Howard's show, but Will's only on the show for eye candy, so that's what somebody called it.
Come on, man. He's just a piece of meat. Come on.
Yeah.
Will's a creepy stalker.
Dude,
did you hear?
One of two tops, you know what I'm talking about? Get you a tube top, Will. Get you one of them spandex and cut the legs off of the shit. You know what I mean? Just strut around the back.
Lord, no. Don't do it. Don't listen to Howard's ideas.
So we get a lot of noises here too at our house. So I resonate with that. I totally get it.
Can I get back to the question I have for you both?
Question now, Howard. Sorry.
All right. No. That's fine. This is something. It's a serious question. I'm not going to make fun of this. I'm not going to sugarcoat it or anything like that. It's straight and forward. And this is going for both Clarissa and Rosie, since there are two psychic mediums. What advice would you give a little girl that is starting to have abilities and does not know what's going on or what to do?
You can go first.
Or this could be for little boys too.
A child.
Basically,
a child.
Here's where I mix in a little bit of my own personal parenting in this situation. Okay. I have two children, and they're young. Well, one of them's young, the other one's a teenager. But
how old is your youngest one? 9. Okay, that's a good age. That's what I'm talking about.
We lived here 7 years. So she's been here almost her whole life.
Okay. And you experience things, okay, and you see things.
Mm-hmm.
What happens if she came to you and say, Mom, I'm experiencing these things. I'm experiencing this. I don't know what to do.
She says that to me, and my daughter, here's the difference. My daughter, I tell her this house is not haunted. Don't worry about it. Because I know maybe that's counterintuitive. I don't know. But the thing is with my daughter, I want to make sure that she's not believing in this stuff because I do this stuff.
Yeah.
Because here's what I find it in residentials. People are like,
say residentials.
Mom, my kids are talking about all these ghosts and all, and but the parents and the adults are never paying attention to when their kids are around, if their kids are hearing them, and kids do have a wild imagination. Now, that does not mean that it doesn't happen. Kids are very sensitive to this stuff, like 100%. So I do believe, if I have a child in front of me that's sitting, that's seeing things and feeling things, if I get permission, I always ask for permission from the parent. I won't talk to anybody under the age 18. Even when I was doing readings, I would ask, are you even 18? And if they tell me yes, usually I did, because, they don't want parent permission. I'm not going to have them sign something saying they're 18. I will sit down with them and I will talk to them about it. And I kind of go in therapy mode, I guess, about it. Like I'm like, just tell me what you're experiencing. What do you think it is? How does it make you feel? Like, that's kind of how I approach it when I'm talking to other people's children. Just because I don't want to tell them, I'll confirm with them, but they're so young and so sensitive. I want them to not be scared, but I want them to feel comfortable with what they're experiencing. So if I say, oh yeah, that's a bad evil man that you're seeing in your bedroom, and that's just gonna make matters worse. That so it's kind of important to kind of figure out how at what levels their ability. Do they sense the being and understand that the being is good or bad, or do they just sense the being and not know? You know what I mean?
It sounds like you're saying bean. Sorry, like a
bean.
Rosie's in the Navy. She knows about beans and Tim went in the Navy. So these guys know beans.
You sense the bean?
Yeah. So, you know what I'm saying though. Like you got to consider the age of the child, their reasoning, if they can reason, if they can comprehend right and wrong, they can comprehend.
What if they see extraordinary things? Maybe they're really something that they're really powerful. I mean, they just don't know what's going on. And I'm giving you an example because you can always go back as a parent, and your child comes to you. And if I had a child and I don't say I don't believe in that crap, blah, 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 paranormal, that humbug stuff, whatever, right? And my child comes to me and says, Dad, I'm seeing this. Dad, I'm seeing this. I'm hearing this. I'm hearing it. First thing pops in my head, schizophrenia.
I ask questions that lead to that. So what I do is ask, what is it saying? What is it doing? What does it look like? How do you feel? Where do you see it? Can you show me? Because if they take me, usually I'm going to feel and sense and see it myself. Then I'm going to be affirmed that it's there. If I don't, then that doesn't mean it's not there. But if you dig a little bit further, you can kind of see if they might have, and it's very, very common, especially doing residentials, to have an undiagnosed mental illness in the home. It's very, very common. That doesn't mean always, and that doesn't mean that that's what it is, but it's very common, very, very common.
Yeah.
But if you do sense that they do have abilities,
tell if that they
like
are mentally disabled.
Michaela, for instance, Clarissa. We kind of picked up that she did have abilities with all this, and then she kind of proved it to us.
Yeah.
But like the very first thing I think that it was important for her to learn was grounding and learning how to block it out and tune it out when she needed to.
Right. Yeah. Now, my daughter, she's not a fool. So, I mean, she's told me multiple times, no, Mom, the house is haunted. So,
well, she's described things that I've seen that I don't talk about when she's here.
Yeah.
She's described them to the T.
Yeah, she's very, very sensitive. My son used to be, I mean, he's a very emotional kid. And he used to, I mean, I've taken him and her really with me to a couple graveyard walks that were more public for kids and stuff. And my son's actually, done a little bit of reading and stuff himself, but he's in denial now. He's 16. He's like, it's not real, whatever. So
See, that's when it usually kicks in. I mean, really kick in.
It might just
Don't
be like
be a hit.
over it. Like I'm over it. I'm into something
yeah, I
else.
think that could be it. Yeah. But yeah, he used to tell me about-
It's a 16-year-old boy, so I have a 17-year-old boy laying right there. If it's not on PlayStation, it's not real.
Yeah. My son's probably on it. Well, he's probably sleeping right now because he sleeps weird hours. But he's probably, he'd be on his Xbox or something. So, so. But yeah, my daughter, she has a lot of experiences in our house, and the only reason, like, I'm there to support her, but I don't want my house to be haunted. I don't. Like, a lot of people are like excited about living in a haunted house. I don't want to live in a haunted
Right.
house.
Yeah, you're exactly
I
right.
want to
Because you
live
get tired of seeing that shit every
comfortably.
day.
Right. I just want to be comfortable and like this is my space. Like, and that's the way it was for a while when I first moved in here, and then it just keeps getting worse. I don't know if it's because I'm dying and stuff or what.
But Clarissa, if you go into a haunted location, I know I've done this too. I mean, I go into a bed and breakfast or something like that. It's a haunted establishment, and you go and investigate the establishment, and it's supposed to be the most haunted room in the whole. And I'll get the best night's sleep that I sleep to death.
Did you fart first or something?
Man, I flushed that whole room out. It's got my scent on everything.
Howard has his own saging technique. It's called the crop duster technique.
I agree with that, Irene. Depending on what's haunting it.
How about you, Rosie? What's your thoughts about that? Do you agree or do you disagree with any points of that?
With the haunted house thing?
About having a child with psychic abilities.
Oh, yeah. Because my daughter has seen stuff too. And when she was younger, I guess I just was busy and I didn't pay attention when she told me, because I had those experiences myself. So I knew that, that stuff happens. But my mom had always told me, and I think I was being my mom for a minute. And my mom, I grew up in the Bible Belt. My mom told me, don't ever tell people that, because my mom was gifted too. And then like my great aunt or something, I can't remember, but like someone like two whatever you want to call it back was pretty gifted.
Generation.
My mom just told me, don't ever talk about that in this very tiny, tiny town that is a Bible beater town, because people will think you're crazy and you're different than everybody. You're not ever going to be exactly like everybody, but you don't have to tell everybody all that stuff. So I kind of feel like that was in my psyche at the time when my daughter had told me that she saw these things. And it still was in there to just try to maintain normalcy in this town.
Yeah.
To try to like tell her, no, I didn't ever like shun her or tell her she was weird or crazy. I just told her, I was like, are you sure you weren't half asleep? Are you sure, it wasn't a shadow or there wasn't a car driving by or something like that, to that effect, to kind of like help her rationalize it. But then as it kind of went on, and now she's 17 and we've talked about it, and things have happened, in the last couple of years, I told her I was sorry. That I wish I had equipped her better and kind of like took what she said more serious and equipped her better to be able to know if it's real or not. I guess I wish I would have.
Right.
Here's an interesting question. Do you think it's hereditary?
I think it can be.
That came from
I
Crystal.
think it can be. Yeah, I think it can be. I agree with that.
I don't know why. I mean, I have theories, but I don't know exactly why. But I do think it can be, just because I've seen so many times. Like, I know Anne has told me that all of her family does what she does, and they always have, even since she was little. I know that we didn't really do it that way, and that's not how we rolled. And God bless USA America, tiny town where I live. But I know that my mom had been told she was gifted many times. I had been told I was gifted many times. My grandma, I don't really think at all ever talked about anything like that because she was such a devout Christian.
See, everybody in my little town already knows I'm crazy. So I don't, they all saw me try to ride a bike off a roof, all those crazy things. Surfing on top of a minivan through town.
Are you Wolf? Teen Wolf? Are you watching?
Oh yeah. Well, we actually go out to the boat ramp. And we would put surfboard wax on the top of the van, and put on swim trunks and rub baby oil on ourselves.
Oh my gosh!
And then lay down and
slow it down, Tim. Hold on. All right,
I think that's
the
pretty
baby all
paranormal.
came into play.
We would hold on where the windows are and lay down up there, and we would go as fast as we could down the boat ramp, slam on the brakes, let go. Put our arms back, stiffen out, plank, basically, and skip off the water.
Oh, on the water.
Oh, man.
I held the record at 7.
I thought you were going to go on the
skipped
asphalt
off the water
or the
7
concrete
times.
or the highway, and I was like, God,
Wow.
that couldn't have been.
Oh, God, no, not on the highway. No. There's a big reservoir.
Oh, my God, I don't want to hear this.
There's a big reservoir 2 minutes from my house.
I hope you had it tucked. That water would tear you up.
Nobody knows how I'm still alive. I've had 54 broken bones.
I used to be dumb too.
I mean, that pinky's been broke 17 times. I can dislocate it and
Crazy. He's gonna call it crazy.
See, that's the difference between our generation and the generation they have out there now. We actually went out there and done crazy shit. The new generation, this is what they do. It's behind a computer screen.
Mailbox baseball.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Take a rope you tie it onto a dirt bike and just jump it into a lake and just reel it back in and just drain it out, fill it some gas and do it again. Oh, yeah, that's fun stuff.
Oh, yeah. Except I was jumping it over land. That's how I broke most of my bones.
You ain't got no big major lakes out there.
Oh, yeah, we do.
Yeah.
There are 3 reservoirs within an hour of my house.
It wasn't an oxidation pond or nothing like that, right?
No. It's a reservoir. It's a river that's dammed up into a reservoir, into a big lake.
3 hours we can be at the Great Lakes.
And there's a little bitty lake here in town that used to be a stone quarry. It's like 100-foot deep.
Yeah, that's fun. Yeah. Okay, here's another question. I did this. This was about November. So about 11 months ago, maybe 10, 11 months ago. I did a show on autism. And yes, how we can get serious. Okay. And my question is, have you ever read a deceased autistic person?
The deceased? No. I would say no. Living, yes. I could tell they were autistic, but
I'm talking about this just because lots of them, they're people too. And it's just like everybody else. And they sometimes get lost or they just don't move forward. They don't go to the light or whatever. And they're here. Or they might have a message for a loved one or something like, You've never experienced that from, and if you did,
from somebody that I could tell was autistic, no. I've read for deceased other individuals with different type of mental health illnesses, but not autism.
Because autism right now is on the rise in the United States, all around the world, really. And it's just something that's, my son's autistic. That's why I'm asking. I think Jeremy has an autistic daughter. Tim. We all, somebody, in your family has some type of autism. That's what's boiling down to now.
Well, I think it's not that it's on the rise, but they've broadened the spectrum and they know more about it.
Yeah. So, okay. So yes, because that's the thing that you have to realize with when it comes to the psychology field, it has changed dramatically over the years. And I only know this because I studied it in college. And the autism's not new. These aren't new diseases.
No.
They just have names. They just have names now, really.
Right.
And so yeah, it's really because if you were to get what they have in psychology is called the DSM. It's the Diagnostic Statistical Manual. That's what they get their diagnoses from. The manual, I have one here in my house because I had one for college, the DSM-5. It is thick. The originals had hardly anything in it. And to look at the original ones, so many of those, I mean, your mental, they used to have like homosexuality in it. They don't have that anymore in it.
Mhm.
You know, so it was really very
ego
different.
and super ego.
Yes.
That's how much technology I know. Ego, super ego.
I'm gonna tell you now. I'm 53 years old. Okay, and when I went to school, and nowadays I could see it. You know, I can actually picture it back then. You had children that attended school, and you could see where they were autistic, but they didn't call them that. The only thing they called them was slow learners, and they stuck them in special classes. They called them LD classes, learning disabilities.
Yeah.
And to me, that was, they would do everything on their own. It was shunned from the school, basically. They were locked away.
Right.
Well, I went to school with a completely nonverbal autistic kid, and his dad was typing on his computer one night, and Ian was his name, and he comes up and he starts hitting the keyboard, and his dad goes, "No, stop!" And he grabbed his hand a certain way, and Ian started typing.
Mm-hmm.
And come to find out, this kid had an IQ like of over 200.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like 15, 16 years old. So his dad and him actually invented a way that he could type into a special little keyboard, and he had a helper go with him to each class, and he got to attend regular classes. But he could type, and it would print out, and then his helper could actually read off the answers or whatever that he was typing. And this kid ended up going to colleges and doing lectures to professors on nonverbal autism. So a lot of these kids are like super, super gifted as well.
Yeah. I mean, look at Nick Muley. I mean, Nick, you know, when you
super duper smart.
I mean, you sit here and you can talk to him on a screen, and you wouldn't even think any kind of hint he was autistic. Matter of fact, he's a genius with cryptics and anything like that. He dates places, times. I mean, he's just a whirlwind of knowledge.
Well, you've talked to my son Howard. You wouldn't think that there's
I wouldn't
anything
think that
wrong
either.
with him.
No.
But when he was little, he didn't speak a word until he was 3. Then he had to learn sign language before he could learn to speak. And then we got him the right help at the right time.
Right.
Basically. And his first word was touchdown.
Indianapolis.
But yeah.
Saints. Who that? No.
But no, he you know, for a while every kid was cis. Every kid was cis because he had sisters growing up. And every adult was dad. Crystal hated me.
No, but that's why I'm asking that question. I've asked every meeting.
He was 3.5 before he called her mom. But now he's pretty much a normal teenager. But he was very peculiar as a child. Everything had a place. You couldn't rearrange the furniture, and he still has
certain time and everything. Yep.
With certain issues. He's still like any kind of big change. There's anxiety with it. A lot of anxiety with it.
Especially like a last minute or sudden thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
While I'm asking this question, I've asked many mediums and psychics, and I had different responses from different people. And why I'm asking this question is just like we said in the beginning of the show. That's my belief. Same belief you have. When you pass, you take whatever you are in life with you. Okay? If you're an asshole, you're an asshole in death. If you're a good guy, you're a good guy in life. I mean, in death. I mean, it is what you are. That's your essence. Okay?
You take your personality with you.
Right. Now, and I've had some psychics and some mediums say, well, when they pass on, that goes away. All your diseases go away. Well, is it right for us to call it a disease? Because another term I'm looking at this is that this is evolution. Because these people who have autism, to me, they know specific things about everything. They know everything about a specific thing. Okay? And what if to say society in the future, we have people, the whole world is autistic and they're all designed to do a certain job.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is it right for us to say that they're sick and do they take that on with them into the afterlife?
Well, I mean, anybody that's odd or off, it's classic for human beings to turn it into a disease. So that's, even if they do it. I mean, I don't know the science behind autism. I would assume there's science behind like the neurology, like the brain's a little different, stuff like that. But even if that's the case, it's not just a behavioral thing, then it could be an evolution thing that, there's more and more people being born that way, or it could be, is autism genetic? I don't know, because if it's genetic, then of course you're going to see an increase. I guess I don't know enough about it to say exactly if it's an evolution thing or if it just happens to be something we've not known about or had a name for centuries. So
I mean, there's like the people that say that they change. I say, okay, so they become a different person. So they're not that person they were in life. So that theory is shot. But if they do take that on with them, I mean, it's like me. I have chronic gas. So do I take my chronic gas with me into death? Will I be one of gassy ghosts?
Now that's a disease.
Here's the thing, though.
That's a gift.
I agree.
In life, we can make ourselves better in life. And I believe even after death, you can do the same thing. Mm-hmm. You're still the personality you got, but you can actually improve yourself. I swear we need medium psychologists. We do to help the deceased get their situation together, just as they would if they were living. Because that's what happens a lot of time. And after they pass, it seems to be easier to convince them about what their flaws were than it is when they're living. So
it sounds like it'd be a good show.
Howard comes up with some Howard comes up with some good stuff sometimes. That brain does kick in every once in a while. It's like it just kind of rolls over. Like
but there's no way to prove that you're helping a deceased. Yeah. So just a thought.
Yeah, I mean, that's just a thought. I had another question there. It just went because I was being too intellectual.
You shook your head, loosen your brain.
I know it hurts.
Hang on, Howard. I got you. Ready?
Yeah. Oh my
God. Now I want to go hunt.
Good. You give my legs a break for a minute.
Ooh, man.
Only have to do with spirits. Did it have to do with
I
spirit?
was a kid that was ADHD way before they knew what that was.
Mhm.
Right. I
My
am. I'm
teacher,
ADHD.
my third grade teacher looked at my mom and said, "Can you give him coffee before he comes to school?" And my mom's like, "What?" And the teacher's like, "Give him unsweetened coffee because it calms me down. Even now, today, I can drink a cup of coffee right now and go to bed in 20 minutes."
Yeah, I know. It knocks me out. I'm the same
Because
way.
I was so hyperactive as a kid, I couldn't sit still in class. And not only that, but 90% of what they were teaching the other kids, I was normally a little bit brighter than they were.
You drink a glass of milk, I'm up all night. I'm up all night.
I'm up for 3 days.
Yeah, if Crystal drinks a cup of coffee, she's up for 3 days.
I wish
Crystal
I was
needs-
a boy.
Crystal needs to get with
I
the
could drink
coffee
a lot
master
less
back
coffee.
there,
I
Jack
start
and
drinking-
Crossland.
I start drinking a bunch of coffee when I need to have a movement, Howard.
I just eat Popeye's chicken. I'm good. Or Cracker Barrel. Cracker Barrel with Popeye's
Or look
chicken.
at
They do it
yourself in
all
the
the time.
mirror and crap your pants.
But no, seriously though, no, I was one of those kids. So that was my learning disability. They thought.
Yeah.
The other thing I have is dyslexia. I'm dyslexic,
Oh my gosh.
and I had a first grade teacher. God bless her. That's tomorrow's show. I had a third grade teacher or a first grade teacher that stayed after school with me every day and taught me to see things the way I see them and switch them back the right way.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And now I do it effortlessly. But I don't see words backwards. I see letters and numbers flipped.
Right.
So an E and a 3 was really confusing for a long time. A B and a D, really confusing. Because I see things the other way. 5 and S, 2,
Yeah.
that whole trio, that had me all kinds of confused as a little kid. And I'm ambidextrous, so I could write left-handed and right-handed, and she made me sit and write everything with my right hand.
Yeah.
But still today, I don't, there's a pencil.
That's why, because you see, you have half a brain, and then you have half a brain. Now you're able to do it.
Most
Give
people
it
when
half
they
to me.
write, they write like this.
All
I
right.
write like this.
Right.
I write upside down like a left-handed person with my right hand.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it was the way. But I would write right-handed. I can still sign my name left-handed just fine. I
Yeah.
can write left-handed just fine. Yeah, I'm just weird.
Yeah.
Now, have any of y'all mediums just like, have y'all ever sat back and just kind of like try to do a reading off of, I don't know, a fish stick?
No.
Well,
Why?
I actually had
fish stick, not reading it.
Why? Because
I
they
just
like
started
that
along with
thing
it,
before he died, or what?
It's like Dory, from Finding Nemo, just swimming around one day and all of a sudden you're a fish stick, then
I
don't
actually
pick
had a really good question. Have you guys ever tried to read a living person?
Yes, a lot.
Yes.
And I even tried not to and couldn't stop doing it, and it's annoying sometimes.
Well, the reason I asked is like Howard had asked about autism.
Mhm.
I was thinking more along the lines of like a nonverbal autistic person being able to communicate to their family what they're actually thinking.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. That would be something I would do fast.
What am I thinking of right now? I'm gonna test y'all.
That's
Yeah.
something I feel like I'm kind of actually doing right now with my
Food.
5-year-old.
I'm not psychic, Howard, and I can tell you that. Food.
I got 2 cheeseburgers in the oven right now, but that's besides.
Thinking about underwear.
Underwear, food, or pooping?
Y'all just know me too well, but no, that's not what I was thinking. No, I have a busy day tomorrow, man. I'm all over the place tomorrow. Getting grandson grandson might be on the petri dish with us. 3 years old, he cursed like a sailor, just like y'all. I mean,
Oh Lord.
I'm teaching him well. So I have that going on, Mark. My son's got his annual kidney check. He had a transplanted kidney back in 2010, and ever since then, it's been like it was his own kidney. Now, that's some weird shit.
Yeah.
You want to talk about some weird shit? My son got a kidney transplant. It was donated from a cadaver. It came from, I think it was Puerto Rico. They flew it in. They called me that morning to have him be up at the hospital about 7 o'clock, and then surgery happened after they tested to make sure it was viable. By 2 o'clock in the morning, they put it in his new kidney. Now, after he got that kidney, I stayed at my mother's house with my son because she was helping out my dad and everybody. They wanted just to help out, make sure he was safe, make sure he was good. My mother gets up one night and she thought she saw my son walking the hall. And he wasn't, because my son slept in the bed. I slept on the floor next to his bed to make sure he was okay. And I did that for about 3 weeks with him. And then we came back home. Things would fly in the house. Literally. You ever seen those, they call Pyrex glass pans?
Mm-hmm.
They're real thick glass.
Mm-hmm. Like a casserole.
Have you ever broke one?
It's hard to break.
You could drop it on the floor and it just cracks in half, or you'll break in a few pieces. This thing shattered everywhere. Off the table. Just shattered. Dozens of pieces. There were handprints. Terry Wilson from she has Alabama skeleton key. The show that comes on after the Petri dish. Mm-hmm. She was the very first person that came into my home and my mother's home and investigated. And they were handprints they could not get rid of on my mother's bathroom window or her mirror. They clean it and it would just come right back. So I mean, it had a lot. She had a radio, old antique radio that would play that time period's music constantly. You could change the channel and it still would play like that big band era music.
Yeah.
Constantly.
Good music.
Not plugged
When did
in.
that start? Before y'all stayed there, or after you stayed there?
After right when we moved in. Right when we moved in
Right
for 3
after
weeks.
the kidney transplant.
Right after the kidney transplant.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
So I'm thinking it's that person that
Related to the kidney, yeah.
Right. And he's making sure it's being saved.
Where did it come from? What country?
Puerto Rico. That's true. I mean, I got testimony on that and everything else. And another big exciting news, I put it in the chat room, the Paranormal Swamp Investigations chat room. I got an email today, and Harry going to be in a movie, maybe.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It's the remake of Interview with a Vampire, and it's going to be here in New Orleans.
Are you serious?
Yes, I'm gonna give it.
No way.
Or
They're remaking that movie?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I'm a huge Anne Rice fan.
I hope they do her whole series, actually.
Dude, you're going to get drained on the toilet, aren't you?
I will get sucked.
I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
I'm gonna be it's gonna be from suction from the toilet. It's gonna actually pull me in there.
Yeah, we don't want to know.
Them
Oh my
damn
gosh.
demons.
You're going to see what a real toilet demon is.
That's right. But yeah, that's what
So
I.
I'm
That's what
guessing they're not going to have Brad Pitt in it still, or Tom
I
Cruise.
got the email still on my phone, and I showed it
But I
to
hope
Jackie.
not.
Jackie, what really? But they invited me. They invited me, and they asked for all my sizes and everything, and all that sort of crap. And cool. And then, in a few months from now, I got Mustafa, with Galatois, whatever his name is. Yeah, Mustafa. He's on the way.
Gallery.
Yeah, him too, and Brandon, and some chick.
Brendan
Yeah,
Albert.
some chick. I don't know who she is. They used to be on A&E's Ghost Hunters.
Is it Kristen? Is it Amy?
Rochelle?
Oh no. It's
No, if
a
it was
chick.
Rochelle, you'd see Brian tagging along.
Some lady that had it that was on the show with them. That's all I
Redheaded.
know. And they coming to New Orleans and they want me to be on the show with them. While they in New Orleans.
Awesome. I'm happy for you. But for
Yeah,
real,
she-
if they do this vampire,
Yeah,
this vampire thing,
I seen a copy of it.
Yeah.
They wanted me to
I'm a
validate,
huge
make
Anne
sure
Rice
they can
fan.
come be there. I think it's on December 2nd and December 3rd. I gotta go.
Oh my gosh. That's exciting. I'm gonna
You should
crash
recommend
the party.
Maven to do the fangs.
Yeah. No.
Howard.
No.
You should recommend him to. Yeah, you should recommend him to the movie producers to make all the fangs for the set.
I'll get Papa Czar to go with me. You hold my hand.
He's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, he is.
You did come as Mavens.
Yeah, we
But
met
every-
somebody at DeadCon that used to stay with Mavis.
Really?
Yeah,
Huh. What was here his or her name?
it was his name. I can't remember, but he stayed on his couch for a while.
He sent you
Yeah.
a friend request.
Yeah, he sent me a friend request, but I can't remember his name. I think it was Brandon.
So Clarissa, if you ever want a real voodoo priest or priestess, come on your
Yeah.
show. Let me know.
Okay, I will do that.
I mean, I love it. I went to Voodoo Fest on a Halloween. Oh, it was amazing. It was
Yeah.
truly amazing. Yeah.
We
And,
don't have a lot of that up here. The voodoo stuff.
Put it in the Bible.
Yeah.
Chris, when they all poop in the
Ask
woods somewhere.
Crystal. Crystal fell in love with it down there. She got a gree bag. She got
Yeah, I got my Gregory back.
Yeah.
Howard has his with it.
Also got my EAD stone.
Mhm.
Got those two.
That's Eat a Dick stone.
No.
Yeah.
That's from Denise Pack. Ernie. Did you see
Ernie
that?
and Denise.
Did y'all see that post that Denise posted about the biscuits? Did you see it? I know you did,
No.
Tim. Rosie, you didn't see it?
I didn't
Denise
see it.
made. Ernie's always about biscuits, so she made these biscuits and gave it to him, and it's shaped like a dildo.
Oh my god. So she bought a cookie cutter and she made biscuits out of it.
No, she just rolled it. It looks like
Oh,
it looks.
okay.
It's
Yeah.
you know.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
She should
yeah.
open a restaurant.
I don't think
Don't
Ernie
Ernie
was happy
here
with
eat
that.
that.
Ernie
That's
put it that.
funny. I can't believe it's not butter.
I know, man.
I
That's crazy.
guarantee if he covered it with sausage, if she covered it with sausage gravy, he ate it.
He ate it. Yes, indeed. That man doesn't pass down. But,
I think I would just throw it at somebody. Yeah, I would need it.
So, what do you think about this show, Clarissa?
I think it's
Really?
great. I really appreciate you having me on here. I knew it was going to be fun because you're one of the hosts. So, but I was really looking forward to meeting Rosie.
Well,
Thank
Rosie
you.
has a special sale.
Awesome.
Maybe Rosie can come on to get you on the show with Rosie, or Rosie get you on her show, or
Yeah.
vice whatever.
We
You know.
will need some people in December and January probably. I've only
Oh,
booked
come
it
on,
like-
Rosie.
I didn't book past December.
I'll do it. I'll do it for you, Rosie.
You're gonna do what for me?
No.
I'll come down there and be on your show.
Okay, come on,
You get the 13th dimension involved in it.
come on, everybody.
And Clarissa, I was just reminded. Yeah, somebody just said tomorrow will be.
That is the white Wookiee of Indiana. I'm
It
almost
is.
sure of it.
It is.
It is.
That means go to bed.
He's the white Wookiee. I almost typed it in too, instead of my name. I almost typed in the
Irene
the,
said,
the
"Watch
rare
out,
balding Sasquatch.
Yeah.
guys."
Somebody, I ain't gonna mention any names, like I don't know, Crystal changed my name to something Howard the Poop or something on there. And I said, all right. So I changed my name back.
Yeah,
And
she
then-
changed it to Poopy Pants Petrie.
One more question
Yeah.
from Gabe.
Oh,
For William, as a demonologist, when performing an investigation, what are the signs that help you determine you are dealing with an evil entity?
Mostly what I do for that is like I got list of different types of prayers, so I'll go through with the prayers, the rosary, holy water, all that. It's when they act up with that is when I can start to say, okay, maybe this is demonic.
Right.
Or I mean, still, it could still not be. It's a long process for me to actually say, yeah, this is demonic or not. But yeah, I just basically go with what the Catholic Church taught me
Right.
and what I've learned in my books and stuff. And yeah, I mean, prayer and holy water is that's a telltale sign right there.
My big thing is I ask them to repeat the Lord's Prayer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's what I understand. That's what this guy wants us to come in and do an exorcism. And I mean, look, I threw everything at this thing to make sure the house was cleansed. First, we went through there with hollow sticks. Then we did sage. Then I went behind them and I had holy water and I had camphor. And I bathed that house and that stuff. And then I covered every opening with the sign of a cross, with holy water. Make sure we're getting this thing out of there. Left one entrance open, demanded this thing to leave, gave it a time period to get out, then closed the whole house down. And I walked into the room and it did smell a lot cleaner. It was like it was a sweet smell. It wasn't nothing foul like it was before. Before you can walk into these rooms and they were really stuffy. Really hot, heavy air. Yeah. And then it was so much lighter after we'd done the cleansing. And now I'm starting to believe this guy may have psychological problems.
That, or he's got a really serious attachment to him himself and
he
not
just got
the property.
Before we went, he had the house blessed by a priest and he was supposed to be anointed. I told him to go get anointed.
They may not have done that right or the correct way. Yeah. Or the third, or like you said, he could have some mental issues. Or the third option is someone in his home keeps inviting it back.
Now that's the question I have there, because he was telling us at one point that whatever it was sleeping with his mother. His mother sleeps down. This place is huge. I'm telling you, this is a big ass house. Her mother has the downstairs, and he shares the downstairs, but he has a whole top floor to himself. Okay, I'm talking about like 2 bathrooms. It has multiple bedrooms and stuff in this thing. I mean, he's got it all set up. He's got like a makeshift. It's actually a living room. He made it, and everything. And he said that he told whatever was there, leave my mother alone. You want to screw with somebody, screw with me. So he just invited this thing to torture himself. That was a stupid move, but yeah, I mean that was the last resort. He had to get anointed. And I'm not talking about just somebody just throwing some oil on him. I'm talking about going to the church, going to altar Mary or something like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I will say though, mental illness can't be cured with like that. Anything that's mental or deeply psychological that has nothing to do with paranormal can't be cured with. You can pray and hope that the prayers work, but you can't cure it with anything that's external that you're going to touch the person with or put on the person, other than a medical professional, hopefully.
Right.
Yeah.
And I've actually experienced a case like that where somebody believed that they were demon possessed. We went to their home. There were a lot of factors, but the main factor to me was he had sleep paralysis.
Mm-hmm.
And what he was explaining to us was classified under an incubus. Mm-hmm. And sleep paralysis can cause hallucinations. And one of those hallucinations, in fact, the second most common hallucination with sleep paralysis is an incubus.
Yeah. It's called affliction. It's called affliction. Like if you look research affliction or study affliction, it talks a lot about incubus and succubus and any different kinds of demons that you can think of. But there's also like some kind of, we're going over time. I don't know if
After the show, I'm gonna send you. I'm gonna send Clarissa. I'm gonna send you a picture, and I want you to show William this. And I think everybody else has seen this in the group here. This was sent to me by Carl Johnson, and of course, if you're demonologist, you know who Carl Johnson. And it's a picture of a case that he worked on. That it was a husband and a father of 7 children, and this thing just decided it was a true demon. It was in this. It dislocated its jaw like a snake. You know, like a snake will dislocate its jaw and swallow its prey. It did that, and this guy's jaw just drops like that. It was huge. I mean, and he sent me that picture. I was like, man, that was like, yeah, I'd love to have been in on that one. You know, I just for the experience, anything.
Oh yeah, Clarissa, I was just reminded too that you need to tell everybody that you're part of a team now or something.
Yeah, we're going to do it right now because it's what 10, 11. So yeah, whoever's on after us, you know, give them that. And tell us where they can find you. Where can they find you, Clarissa?
Well, obviously, you can still find me on Unveil Paranormal, which the show, my Facebook, I have Instagram, I have YouTube, I have TikTok now. But what Tim is referring to is I've been talking back and forth with things about maybe joining them as a medium and fellow investigator. And I gave the green light like 2 days ago to Jeremy and said, let's do this. So, I've not seen an announcement out there, but yes, I have decided to join in with things.
Oh, we're gonna make it official.
Congratulations. I'm sorry for you, but yeah, that's congratulations.
Don't be sorry for him until you investigate with Scotty.
Just put shin guards on your guy.
Yeah, Blake got his first experience with Scotty Saturday.
You couldn't. Yeah,
our Wi-Fi is cutting out. I'm not sure everything that you guys said, but it's a big deal for me to join team. I've been on teams before. I've never been a fan of being on teams because they've always kind of ended kind of south. But I'm excited about this because I know the team well in advance compared to in the past. I've just joined people I didn't really know very well and I actually know things, and I know the people in the team, and you guys are all great, so I'm looking forward to it.
And that's where you can find you. You have YouTube, you have Instagram, you have what else?
Facebook.
TikTok. Okay. And you can find William at iCandy.com. And he's got some, he's got that what's the name of that? It's you have to pay for it. You have to pay. What's the heck name of that thing?
Shut up. Only fans only.
Oh yeah, fans only. He's got a fans only page.
I didn't know this.
You gotta make some money.
I'm barely good enough to be on this. This is not a face for television.
And on Twitter, you can catch him on Twitter also, and TikTok. Oh Lord, that was great.
Just look for Unveil, you'll find us. I googled the name before I picked the name because I didn't want to be like one of many Unveil Paranormals. So
there
you go.
Yeah.
If you go to the 13th Dimension on YouTube, you'll find about 30 other 13th Dimensions on YouTube.
Right, I know.
Part of a 13th Dimension here in Oklahoma.
But you're only going to find one Paranormal Swamp Talk. You're only going to find one Petri dish I'm gonna tell you that now.
That is true.
Poopy Pants Petrie.
What she say?
Poopy Pants Petrie.
Poopy Pants Petrie at gmail.com. That page is ran by Crystal. A big roll of Charmin comes on for the opener.
Thank you, everybody, for
And
watching.
then a bunch of beignets.
And everybody who participated.
The
All
Beignet
the
Bandit.
fanatics, all the fans.
She loves that name, and she ain't changed it yet.
No, I'm leaving it.
She's leaving it.
Because I am the Beignet Bandit.
Or the Hurricane Hunter.
That's me. That's not you, that's me.
That's not me. That's her.
Oh, I've never seen two women get so rowdy at a freaking bar in my entire life. That Jackie and Crystal, they were all nice and proper when they walked in and they sat down, and then they got that hurricane in them, and it was all over with.
I was watching an episode of NCIS New Orleans here recently, Howard, and they talked about Pat O'Brien's.
Yeah. They got Pat O'Brien's mix. I can send you some of that next time. See if I can find it. You can just, it's already mixed. The only thing you do is add alcohol.
All right, Howard, let's wrap
Bye,
this one
everybody.
up.
Yeah, let's wrap this up.
Rosie's like,
All
let's
right,
go.
yeah, the hot dog is overcooked now. Next week on Paranormal Swamp Talk, we will be having Miss Dana Holyfield on. Her grandfather, Mr. Ford, he was the first person to, well, I don't know if he was the first, but he was the first person to actually report the sighting of the Honey Island swamp monster. So he's got pictures and plasters and all that. This is his granddaughter. She has all that, and we'll be talking about the Honey Island swamp monster, which is only about 15, 20 minutes away from it. So that'll be an interesting show. And Nick's probably going to be like, oh, yes. But, you know, Nick's got the control.
I might not let Crystal be on that show, Howard. I might have to be on again.
She's very
I'll probably
knowledgeable.
contact you, Clarissa, and see if you guys want to be on mine and Jason's show sometime.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Maybe like
Just let me
January.
know.
And then
Bring in the
tomorrow
new year
night,
with it.
tomorrow night we'll have Clarissa and hopefully Mr. William in there, and get a taste of real, I don't know, chaos. This was mild.
Yeah,
This was a mild show.
we've been warned.
You've been warned.
We've
Who
been
warned
warned.
you?
Oh my
Who's warning
God.
people about my show?
Everybody.
I might come on in.
them yourself, probably.
I might come on in. I might come on in and just kind of like, I don't know. Welcome to the Petri dish.
You don't lie about it.
And
You
it-
tell the truth. Howard.
And let the corn cob take over.
Let the-
We gotta go because my wig's falling off. I just gotta say it. I'm like, I'm struggling here, yo. At least in the live. No.
You should have put a weave in.
Yeah, I got a weave. And it's very tightly, like, yeah.
There you go. Woman I admire, Rosie. She's the only woman I've seen that's bringing back the wigs and stuff like that. I think that's.
I'm just waiting for that Bugs Bunny tonic to come out.
Yeah,
This
she's
is
right.
like what I'm dealing with here. See this tight freaking braid?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is what I'm struggling with here because it's making this pop off my head. So,
Oh Lord.
yeah.
Gotta just let them things breathe. Gotta let it breathe.
We're still live.
All right, Howard.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we are.
You tricked me. You tricked me. I'm coming to get you. I know where you live.
Come on. All right, guys. Y'all have a good night, and we'll see you either tomorrow night or next week.
All
Bye-bye,
right. Good night,
everybody.
everybody.
Bye bye.
Good night, bye.